Now, according to the World Platinum Investment Council, next year, 2023, we're going to see a shortage of the metal platinum due to a big increase in demand. So, does that mean prices are on the rise? Well, I'm going to have a look at the charts, a bit of sentiment to see where that price could be heading next for 2023. So with that, let's get into that analysis. Let's start with a bit of sentiment and fundamentals using technical analysis. Well, we've got at the bottom here seasonality. Does that impact the price at the moment? Well, it's been in that slight downward trend, as you can see there, but as next year kicks in, it is really strong all the way through up to the end of February, so that can be quite bullish there, but neutral at the moment. Now, the commitment of traders data, very important. See where the users and the traders are going, what their point of view is around the metal. Now, I'm just using the large commercials here, and what I want to see is if they are on the down move, I want to see the price on the up move. That's going to confirm my shorter term bullish bias at the moment. So in terms of there, we've got seasonality flat, and I would say commitment of traders data looking bullish at the moment. And then if we get into some long-term charts, weekly chart here for platinum futures, you can see the really big downtrend that we've been in since 2009, and it bottomed down here April 2020, big decline, and then it's bounced on up. Put some Fibonacci lines on here as well to give you some guidelines. 1200 seems to be the key area there, before it bounced on back down again, and we've been in that short 20, 21, 22 decline. And notice that trend line, how we've got a lot of resistance to the price to the upside, and then it broke on through, and then it was a case of resistance becoming support, because have a look, it's now bouncing off that, using that as a base. So if we did see the price pull back, notice we've got all this volume at this level as well, then it's down to this sort of 750 area in the much longer term. And if it can break on up, well, we know we've got that resistance zone around 1200, but realistically 40% move over the next year is not out the question, and we've got a lot of noise around this zone here, which is this Fibonacci line, the 1400 mark, but that's a realistic target to the upside if that supply shortage is what it says it is. If you can't trade the platinum futures direct, then I found this ETF. You can see it mirrors quite nicely the price. It's called Granite Shares Platinum Shares ETF, and it has the ticker PLTM. I'll show you at the end of the video, or toward the end of the video, how you can actually trade the futures. Anyone can trade the futures for that matter. So then we head on into the line break chart. This is for reversal entries. Now we've got a bearish one sitting here at the moment, and as we can see, that's the reversal there. Two numbers for you to think about, 995 at 990 to the downside. And then into the Renko charts, a more long-term view on the left, short-term view on the right-hand side. And what can we take away from the long-term view to start with? Well, in terms of signals, we got bullish there, so we'll call it weak bullish for the regression, and stochastic picking up nicely there. We can see that bottom that we talked about around about 800, and we've got a bounce up in terms of price, but it's headbutting this trend line down here, so that's going to be a key significant area, about 1,000, earlier thousands, before it can try and get its way up into these higher levels and try and get back to the highs around 1300, 1350. Now in the shorter term, we've got a more positive outlook. We've got signals all looking pretty decent to the upside. We've got the trend that has been going up since October, but we've got this yellow shaded box area that I've coloured in here. Bit of sideways ranging action currently in this short term pullback signal here, and it bounced again at this Fibonacci line 38% at about sort of 985, 990, where you can see there's quite a bit of noise around those bricks showing it quite clearly. Now if we get a bounce from here, shorter term targets late, sort of 1070s to 1100s, then 125, and then 1200. A failure here, and it's down to 960, 940 and 900. But before we go and put a score on platinum, let's take a look where we can trade those futures. So I'm in my broker, Tiger Brokers. I'll put a link in the description below this video if you want to find out more about them. But let's find those platinum futures. If you head over to the market section, scroll along, go to futures, click on that, and then we got this precious metals area here. There you see platinum. Let's click on that. We've actually got a decent curve of quite a few months out there into 2023 to play with. It's just a click on there, and that's it. It's there waiting for you to trade on futures on Tiger Brokers, or like we mentioned before, you can use ETFs, or if you're into CFD spread bets, they're always available on those platforms as well. So let's get on with scoring platinum. So I'm going with a neutral score at the moment. As you can see in the top left, the short-term Renko a lot more bullish than the longer term, where I've given it a more weak bearish outlook at the moment. Interesting point. It's got to break through that trend line. Remember that downward trend line for me to turn it more bullish, because if it doesn't, it could quite easily head back down quite heavily. And other factors involved here: seasonality neutral, commitment of traders, which is encouraging, is bullish, and line break chart bearish for a short-term reversal there, 995, 990 the way in. So in terms of targets, upside 2.5, 4.25 to 1 with those numbers there. Downsides 1.83 and 3.17 to 1. But at the moment, I think just based on the technicals, it's a neutral score, and we're going to wait and see, time our way in with whatever setup you've got to get into this trade as that supply shortage becomes more obvious and prominent. Platinum certainly sounds like an interesting one to be watching into next year. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the platinum price and where it might be heading next. Love to hear your thoughts. Now, if you want to learn more about futures and how you can trade markets such as platinum, I've got a great video coming up for you right now.